Good morning, folks. It's Diamond with the Oppenheimer Ranch Project and Magnetic Reversal News, bringing you a coronavirus COVID-19 update on Monday, March 30th, around noontime, Mountain Time, 2020. And today we're going to go over all of the pertinent headlines in the last 24 hours, as well as some of the totals. Total confirmed cases from Johns Hopkins showing 741,000 plus, with total deaths worldwide at 35,000. Still a very low death count compared to cancer and other normal afflictions worldwide in the same time frame. Once this number gets to 350,000 in a few months, then we'll start to exceed some normal death rates for other things like flu and cancer. But right now, the death rates are quite low. Most of the hospitals in the US are keeping up, and only very few cities are at all overwhelmed. Now, if we look at the US numbers, as of this morning, 144,000 have been confirmed with 2,500 deaths. Now, in the same time frame, we've had thousands of deaths for cancer and diabetes and heart disease. So this number, until it gets to 20,000 or more in a few months, is very low, still very low. Now, Amazon and Instacart grocery delivery workers strike for coronavirus protection and pay. And I don't blame them. Now, the Amazon workers they just want because one of their employees up in New York was sick, they just want the warehouse cleaned. That's it. That's all they're asking for. And Instacart workers are obviously looking for more gloves and maybe masks, which any worker putting themselves in harm's way should be asking for personal protective equipment or PPE. That's just the way it works. Get that PPE. Now, Dr. Birx is predicting up to 200,000 coronavirus deaths if they do everything perfectly. Now, I don't know what she means by this. If she means over a period of a year or 2 years, I could see that number. But unless people start dropping like flies, I don't see this happening, especially with vaccines being developed and anti-malaria drugs now coming into the picture in the U.S. We'll get to that. Hospital ship finally arrives in New York weeks after it was deployed to help coronavirus fight. This hospital is going to be taking care of regular patients, not the COVID-19 patients. And so the 750 beds on the U.S. Navy ship Comfort has arrived in Manhattan and will soon be seeing non-COVID patients. And that will free up some of the beds in the hospitals where the COVID quarantines are going on. Now, Louisiana Governor on not shutting down Mardi Gras over coronavirus concerns. Well, the explanation is no one told me to. And that's just lack of leadership, period. Farmers are concerned about disruptions to spring seeding and livestock operations amid the outbreak. Disruptions to fuel, chemicals, and seed supplies come as farmers are getting ready to plant. So, one more cog in the wheel of the disruptions. Charlotte residents are pushing back against staying at home because they all want to be infected. Minnesota State Trooper pulls over a cardiologist for speeding, and instead of giving her a ticket, he gives her his personal protective equipment. Kudos go out to this state trooper in doing what was right there. The FDA issues emergency use authorization for anti-malaria drugs. Now, do you remember all the hype that chloroquine kills you? Yeah. Only the fish store version. The Department of Health and Human Services said in a statement that this authorization would allow 30 million doses of hydroxychloroquine sulfate and 1 million doses of chloroquine phosphate to be donated to the Strategic National Stockpile. The doses of hydroxychloroquine sulfate were donated by Sandoz, while the chloroquine phosphate was developed by Bayer, which is also poisoning your food. So interesting developments there. And at the same time, the Michigan Governor, Gretchen Whitmer, is hoarding hydroxychloroquine, and she's going after people who are asking their doctors to prescribe it to them. I don't know what evil woman this is, but people that have lupus and other diseases are being denied refills on their hydroxychloroquine to boot. And we reported on that yesterday. So again, anyone knows what this woman is thinking. Massive field hospital going up for coronavirus patients in Central Park. This is due to volunteer work and evangelical Christian relief organization in Central Park called Samaritans Purse. So good job to that religious group actually doing something for the positive and not holding a mass, let's say, over the weekend. Florida is setting up checkpoints for New Yorkers fleeing the coronavirus. If you're fleeing from New York to get to Florida, you'll probably have to quarantine and sign some papers because all you're doing is spreading the disease around, you selfish pricks. And some of the shocking news and some of the effects of what's going on. German state minister kills himself as coronavirus hits the economy. At least one or two people have jumped to their death in New York City during the pandemic. And now Thomas Schäfer, finance minister of Germany's Hesse state, which includes Frankfurt, was found dead near a railway track. Apparently he laid down, never got up. Armed vigilantes are blocking a neighbor's driveway with a tree. Now, this happened in Vinyl Haven, up in the middle of nowhere on an island, where some crazy locals cut down a tree to prevent vacationers with New Jersey license plates from leaving. Now, the only twist here is that the people with the New Jersey license plates were not in New Jersey during the breakout. So, this is some of the insanity that will start to pick up as people get stir crazy. Passengers on the death ship plead for rescue as virus strikes. Well, it's your own fault for getting on the death ship in the middle of a pandemic after you watch the news about other death ships. These people are just idiots, and I do not feel for them, period. And now they're bringing the coronavirus-stricken ship to the U.S. And guess where? To Florida. The idiocy keeps growing. Coronavirus deaths fall again in Italy, but lockdown extensions loom. So good news coming from the front lines here. The uptick is slowing in some of the hardest hit areas, and we are going to see a plateauing in the coming weeks worldwide. So what we should glean from all this information is the show is just beginning. Keep calm, stay home if you can, social distance, read a book, and remain calm. Be safe. We love you.